That's going to start making these institutions go, oh, do we want to continue our business association with these people? Is there a brand risk?
Hello there, you awakening wonders. Do you ever wonder how long it will be before the corporate global state is able to practically control every single aspect of your life? Edward Snowden posits that it might be as little as 5 to 10 years. I don't know if you saw his speech at the Bitcoin conference where Bobby Kennedy and Donald Trump and I spoke with CEO of Rumble, Chris Pavlovski, but as well as it being an opportunity for people to talk about the application of Bitcoin, obviously it became a conference on freedom, I suppose, at least from the perspective that Bitcoin is untraceable, decentralized, there are permanent ledgers, there are sort of extraordinary aspects to it. But the reason I think Edward Snowden is important when it comes to this subject is because he's somewhere between a prophet and a hero in this area, in spite of his extraordinarily modest and humble approach, both to rhetoric and indeed, I suppose, even making predictions. He's not one for grandstanding, is he? But nevertheless, he seems to think we're on the precipice of something pretty frightening. Here he is at that conference saying we might have only 5 to 10 years before fully immersive, panopticon, total control is achieved.
You're liberal, doesn't matter whether you're conservative. If you stick out, if you stand out, you're going to become non-normative, or rather anomalous. What I am afraid is likely to happen quite quickly, all of the transaction information that they can get, well, the Bitcoin blockchain is available for anyone for free at any time, right? And how do you train these models? You need learning sets, you need training data, you need data sets. So they're going to pull everything they can, they're going to feed it through these things, and they're going to try to teach them originally, I think this is going to be the easiest thing, what does a normal transaction look like? You know, what do 95% of them look like? And then they're just going to go, what is anomalous? What is strange? What is unusual? What doesn't quite fit? And then they're going to go from that's a 5% probability down to a 3% probability, then try to get it smaller and smaller and smaller until they can just basically have people that are getting reports spit out on their desk, little, chat messages to their terminal, basically. They're saying, this just happened, this just happened, this just happened. Do you want to continue? And that banking officer is going to get a click OK to continue on your life, on your ability to transact, on your ability to trade. It's not just going to be Bitcoin. It's going to be Visa. It's going to be MasterCard. It's going to be everywhere. It's going to be PayPal, right? Whether you're subscribing to an OnlyFans account or something like that, which, is a very common thing, but something that a lot of people aren't going to admit to. They're not going to be proud of, right? That's going to start making these institutions go, oh, do we want to continue our business association with these people? Is there a brand risk? I think we really need to think about how do we secure the transactions on the Bitcoin network moving forward. I have said this for 10 years. I have been ignored for 10 years. Well, we're running out of runway. And again, right now, every time you're on this network, and I love this network, I've used it many times, you are going to be adding to the data set. The space for everyone else to have any kind of private interaction diminishes.
It's interesting that really, Edward Snowden was a person that told us that privacy itself was under threat, that privacy would become a commodity. And underneath privacy, the emotional idea of shame, which is a kind of ubiquitous and at least humanly universal phenomena. And the idea that shame can be exploited to control people is oddly primal, given that what we're ostensibly discussing is advanced technology, cryptocurrencies, ethereal means of transaction that are sometimes difficult to even comprehend unless you understand that world. And yet, as is often the case, it will come down to something extraordinarily human, like the feelings of deep shame or a need for privacy or a need to exclude or control or set aside information. It reminds me of the idea that for a long time people said if you've got nothing to hide, you've got nothing to fear. Well, who can say that these days when there are continually shifting parameters when it comes to what constitutes shame or fear? So if Edward Snowden's concerned about it, it's presumably something that we should all pay attention to. And Bitcoin, which is being presented and understood, and I suppose in an ideal situation is an opportunity to transact outside of institutions of control and hopefully corruption. Even Bitcoin, Edward Snowden warns, has the potential to become yet another device for control, manipulation, surveillance, and I suppose ultimately censorship. But that's just what I think. Why don't you let me know what you think in the comments and the chat? Remember to like and subscribe. And remember, we stream every day on Rumble at these times. Stay free. We can't continue to bring you this beautiful content without the support of our partners.
Hey, this is exciting. We've got a great partner today. It's Rumble. But beyond Rumble is Rumble's latest venture. Let me ask you first, are you a Sleepy Joe type character with zero cognitive performance, struggling to muster focus and brain power for basic things like running the United States of America? You gotta stop drinking woke liberal coffee that hates you and your way of life and start your day by drinking Rumble's very own 1775 coffee. This is gonna be the best tasting coffee you've ever had. Seriously good, ethically sourced from a family farm in the high altitude mountains of Bolivia. Not in the Bolivian lowlands, run not by a family, but by a single man, still living with a pet. No! Instead of waking up and drinking your big corporation-owned woke ideology coffee that's probably making you sick from the pesticides it's sprayed with, try Rumble's 1775 revolutionary coffee. Support freedom of speech. Build a parallel economy that actually values you and loves you. My favourite? It's dark, of course. I've always found the lure of the dark irresistible. I'm sorry, how can I stay mad at you? But you're just going to have to wait over there for a little while. Level up your morning routine with a 1775 coffee. Sleep all night knowing your hard-earned dollary dues are going towards supporting freedom-loving creators like me on Rumble. Visit 1775coffee.com now. Pick up your first bag. Use the code BRAND to save 10% on your first order. Oh, come on. Why choose, you know? Okay, back to the content.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you want to see more uncensored content where free speech can flourish, join our live stream. Click the link right here to watch the next video if you want to, or become a member of a growing movement. Download the Rumble app and you'll be informed every time we make a new piece of content. Stay free.